What are the long-term effects of drinking too much?
We're increasingly recognising just how much ill health in Scotland is related to drinking, and we've been drinking more in Scotland over the last 20 years or so, and lots of these health problems have become worse. So liver disease, which used to be quite an unusual disease in Scotland, has become quite common. That affects the digestion of food, really the overall working of the whole of your body, and that can be a very, very serious condition. And alcohol is also a big factor. Many of the cancers that affect people in Scotland, cancers of the mouth and stomach and breast cancer in women, we know that both of those are related to alcohol. A very important thing in Scotland is that many of these diseases are getting more common and getting worse, and so as we drink more people will fall into trouble with these kind of illnesses. So it has quite a range of long-term effects, and the more we drink, the more we risk those long-term effects.
Is it safe to drink while taking medication?
Alcohol with medication can be a big problem. Every medication that people will be taking, either prescribed from the doctor or from the chemist, will have information supplied with it. And people should be familiar with that information, and often part of that information will be to do with alcohol. There are some medicines that are particularly risky with alcohol. Medicines for epilepsy is one example, sleeping tablets are another. So I think if you have any questions about that, it's important for people to speak to their doctor, their health worker, their support worker.
Can alcohol be good for your health?
There are no situations where you take alcohol to actually improve your health. But there are many situations where we can drink alcohol quite safely and everybody enjoys it and has a more enjoyable evening as a result. So I think that's the important thing, is to take alcohol in a way that increases your enjoyment and doesn't lead to harm and problems later on.
What is binge drinking?
We hear a lot about the term binge drinking, and I think it's best to think of binge drinking as really drinking to get drunk. So drinking to the point where your judgment and ability to look after yourself and control yourself is badly affected. And that is a risky situation because people can be involved in accidents, they can be involved in arguments with friends because of them saying things that they wouldn't normally say, and alcohol affects their judgment and the way that they behave. So binge drinking is when people are drinking enough for it to affect the normal way that they behave, to lead to a change in their normal behaviour, and in some ways turn them into a different kind of person.
What are the short-term effects of drinking too much?
People will often try to do things that they're not capable of doing. They may think that they're faster, bigger, stronger than they normally are, when they're sober. Again, this sort of Superman effect where they seem to think they can do things that they're obviously not able to do can often result in accidents.
How do people get hurt when they have been drinking?
People can get hurt in many ways when they're drinking alcohol. Because the inhibitions have been lowered, people can often react in a much stronger fashion than they normally would react in. And again, they might take offence to things that are being said, whereby they normally wouldn't take offence to these things. And often this results in a fight, somebody getting punched, somebody getting hit. Again, there's much more subtle ways. For instance, here in the minor injury unit, we see people coming in, they've just simply stumbled, they've lost their balance, they've been turning around, probably mucking around, they injure their ankle, perhaps on the way going home. Likewise, you can be in the home. You could be doing something as simple as preparing the meal, having a glass of wine while you're preparing the meal, and again, you're just not paying full attention to what you're actually doing with the task, so you end up with cut fingers. Everybody has a different level at which alcohol is going to affect them, and I think if you know that you're now starting to reach your level, or when you do reach your level, that's probably the best time to call a halt to drinking, or certainly space it out. They can slow down their drinking, they can miss out around. Again, they can take water or juice in between. And usually if they know how much they can handle, they're unlikely to go off the rails and become superheroes.